So, what is a belief? Belief is a deeply rooted idea that we hold as true. It's a mental framework that shapes how we see ourselves, people around us, and the world. And you can think of beliefs as mental shortcuts, or in computer terms as programs that help us make sense of complex situations quickly. They define your reality, and beliefs influence how you think, feel, and act in any given situation. And when you believe something, you accept it as true and you act accordingly. Basically, all of your thoughts, feelings, and actions are defined by your beliefs. As such, they impact our attitude, our perception, and even our character. All of these things affect the outcomes that we experience in life. And we will find out over the course of this presentation that it's not just the outcomes in our life, but also they have a huge effect on our biology, health, and even the fabric of reality itself. And what is a mindset? A mindset is a collection of beliefs. If belief is a program, your mindset is the operating system through which you approach and see everything. Let's take a look at an example. If we have two people that are looking at the exact same situation, for example, a task or a change of sorts, person A can see it as an opportunity to grow, and person B can see it as a problem. And there's no difference in the situation, but in the perception of person A and person B and their set of beliefs. And by adjusting your beliefs, you open yourself up to new possibilities, to reduced stress, and to greater resilience. Because if you see it as an opportunity to grow, the stress that you experience is going to be a positive one. It's going to help you grow. And if you see it as a problem or an unsurmountable obstacle, you're going to have a far more difficult time dealing with the issue and the change. And I love this quote: what seems to be is to those to whom it seems to be. I hope I got this right. And it's by William Blake. It just shows that our perception is actually what defines our reality. Okay, let's examine the three levels of existence that are affected by our beliefs. They affect the relationship that you have with yourself, the relationship you have with other people, and the relationship that you have with the world at large. When it comes to yourself, if you believe that you can succeed in something, then you're more likely to put in the effort and to actually achieve your goals. On the flip side, if you believe that you'll fail or that you're not good enough at a particular skill or just in general, then that belief can lead to anxiety and doubt, which severely affects your performance. And it causes you to not even try or to even find a way to sabotage your efforts. This mostly happens unconsciously, funnily enough. And what happens when you fail? That basically confirms your belief that you have. That's called self-fulfilling prophecy. And when you fail at something, then it's like, see, I knew it, I'm not good enough. Basically, it's I knew this would happen. And on a level that you're not aware of, like on the subconscious level, unconscious level, you expect it to come into fruition. So you act accordingly. And as you can presume, this severely limits your growth and potential in any aspect of your life. Another great quote, this time by Henry Ford: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. When it comes to your relationship with other people, we have an example. If you have the belief people can't be trusted, and if you have this belief, then you might approach relationships and encounters with other people with a certain degree of suspicion. And on a certain level, you're expecting them to act dishonestly, or you're calculating and expecting sort of a betrayal. And this can lead to guarded behavior. It can lead to a difficulty opening up and a tendency to distance yourself from the people that you're engaging with. And again, this can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy because the people in the situations that you're with, they can feel that mistrust, and in response, they withhold their true selves, which again reinforces the belief that people aren't to be trusted. Again, if you believe that conflict is painful, you might shy away from important conversations. This impacts your relationship and opportunities. Or if you have a set of beliefs that lead to you always seeking approval from others, then you're making choices that are not really your own, but you're doing what other people expect you to do. Example with the world, if you believe that the world is a dangerous place, then you might see even neutral events as threatening. And again, we have the self-fulfilling prophecy. Or if you believe that the world is a supportive place, then you're likely to notice positive opportunities and helpful people. And this is called the confirmation bias. Confirmation bias means that once you have a certain belief, you unconsciously seek out information that confirms that belief, and you ignore the information that contradicts it. That means that our minds are looking for patterns that align with what you're expecting to see based on your beliefs, and that shapes how we see and interpret our experiences. It acts as a feedback loop, which means that your beliefs get confirmed and sink even deeper, which can lead to the formation of core beliefs. Core beliefs are deeply ingrained ideas or assumptions that people hold about themselves, others, and the world, and they're the foundation for other beliefs, making them extremely challenging to change. Now we have some examples of beliefs. I am capable versus I am not good enough. People are kind versus other people will betray me. And the one we had is the world is full of opportunities versus life is unfair. Okay, what are the building blocks of beliefs? We have three main aspects, three main components. We have our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions, and they're interconnected. I'm basically seeing them as what comes first, chicken or the egg, in the sense that I can't really separate what comes first. As an example, your thoughts influence the way you feel, and the way you feel and think influence what you do. So all of them work together to create a belief. And then the belief provides the reinforcement as a feedback loop with your thoughts, emotions, and actions. So they all support each other. And based on the beliefs, you're gonna think, feel, and act. So if you feel anxious about trying something new, the anxiety can lead to thoughts like, I can't do this, which prevents you from taking action. Or if you felt embarrassed during a presentation at school, you might develop a belief that you should avoid public speaking altogether. If you felt joyful after taking certain action and achieving a goal, then the positive emotion can lead you to a belief that you're capable of achieving your goals. And another one, if you repeatedly participate in sports and get good results, you may come to believe that you're athletic. Basically, your actions provide evidence for your beliefs and reinforce them. And this is like kind of a loop, just to see how it's all interconnected. And you can see beliefs have a special place in the loop because they're impacting everything else and getting feedback from it, which then confirms it even further. On the other hand, if you change your beliefs, it automatically changes the rest. Okay, and when you have consistent thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, it leads to consistent actions, and consistent actions can become habitual. They're your habits, and they make up a large part of your daily routines. They often operate without conscious thinking. And as an example, we have brushing our teeth. You're not thinking about it, it just happens. It's a habit that you have. And even aspects of how you react to stress can become a habit. If you believe that exercise is important for health, you're more likely to establish a habit of working out regularly. And a belief that failure is bad can lead to avoidance behaviors, which creates a habit of procrastination or not trying new things. As you can imagine, or if you've ever dealt with procrastination in your life, I certainly have, it has a severe impact on your productivity and the stress levels. Beliefs and habits play a critical role in the formation of your identity and character. And character traits like discipline, resilience, and generosity can be seen as the result of habitual behaviors. Meaning, when you consistently demonstrate certain traits through your actions, they become ingrained in your character. They basically become the way that you see yourself and therefore your identity. We have a beautiful quote by Mahatma Gandhi. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. It's a bit different, but the essence is the same. I mean, your destiny can be construed as habitual behavior, and your identity and character, the way you perceive and act in the world. We have an example. If you're habitually engaging in acts of kindness, then you might see yourself as a compassionate person, reinforcing that aspect of your character. Or if someone practices gratitude, often it shapes their perception of life, which makes their character more positive and resilient. And deeper character development essentially becomes your identity. It's the way that you see yourself. You can see yourself as a compassionate person or as a positive person, and that has an impact on everything else. And this is a graphic presentation of that. This is the simpler model, and this is the habitual behavior and the deeper development of character that we spoke about. And when we combine it together, we have something a bit more abstract, but you can see that the thoughts and emotions that we have lead to certain actions that are reinforced by our beliefs. And the actions and the beliefs lead to consistent behavior, which leads to habits, which then leads to character and identity. And it all goes back and confirms the beliefs that you have again, which creates a loop, a never-ending loop. And the action is in the middle of it because it's connected to both feedback loops, and the beliefs are the basis and the foundation for everything. So through repetition, your behavior becomes hardwired. It becomes like a program that turns on automatically, like with the habits and the brushing of the teeth. It becomes a part of who you are and what you hold true about yourself. Interestingly, this is also reflected in the physical body. When you repeat a behavior, thought, or action, there's neural pathways in your brain that are activated consistently. There's also something that's called neurogenesis, but I think it's in one of the chapters ahead. Essentially, repetition strengthens those synaptic connections and pathways in your brain, and over time, the brain prioritizes these pathways because they become the most efficient route for information to travel. So, the more that you use a pathway, the more engraved it becomes, which makes it easier and faster to use in the future. What happens then? Engaging in a habit requires less conscious effort or energy. This is why you can brush your teeth and tie your shoes without much thought. To break a habit, you must disrupt the old pathway by consciously avoiding behavior and replace it with a new behavior. Over time, this can create a new synaptic imprint while the old one weakens, and this is a process called synaptic pruning. Here's the thing. Not all beliefs are based on facts. Many beliefs that we have do not serve us and are not beneficial to us. Some beliefs are empowering, like the belief that we're capable of learning and growing, and others can hold us back, like the belief that we're not able to change or that certain goals are out of reach. There's a name for them. First, we have the limiting beliefs. They come in the form of I can't or I'm not, and they hold you back from reaching your potential. Often they stem from negative experiences, expectations, and doubt. And limiting beliefs are fear-based, which means they come from the fear of failure, rejection, or judgment. As you can imagine, they have a profound effect on your self-esteem and confidence. Some examples: I'll never be able to change, I always fail at new things, I don't belong here, money is hard to come by, I don't have what it takes to succeed, and I'm just not a creative person. Luckily, we also have the opposite of limiting beliefs. They're called empowering beliefs, and they start with I can or I am. They support your growth and potential, and they can lead to embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, increased resilience, and higher self-esteem and confidence. Basically, they encourage you to take action because you believe that you can do something. Here are the opposite examples of the ones we had. I can learn and improve. Every failure is a learning opportunity. I have unique contributions to make. Money is abundant. I have the resources to support to achieve my goals. And I can tap into my creativity and explore new ideas. Here's a fun exercise. Try to identify your limiting beliefs. If you understood the concept, it's basically some ideas that you have about yourself that limit you. If you haven't yet thought about it, try and give yourself 5 minutes and write something down. I know the first time that I did this exercise, I wrote down like 33 limiting beliefs inside of 10 minutes, and it's scary to a degree. It's scary to see how much stuff can come out of you that, when you think about it, severely impacts you on a level that you don't even understand. And in a way, it's a huge relief because you get the opportunity to see like the opponent. You can see the hidden aspects of yourself, and when you see them, it's a bit easier to handle them and to find a constructive solution for them. Okay, so when it comes to the formation of the beliefs, there are two main ways. The first one is repetition and reinforcement. Basically, the more that you hear or experience something, the more likely it is to become a belief. We also have the emotional impact, and those are experiences that provoke strong emotions which accompany key experiences in your life. The emotional impact plays a huge role in the formation of beliefs. The higher the intensity of the emotion, the higher the impact of the belief. if we need an example to understand this a bit better, let's say as a kid you participated in a sports event and you played basketball and you missed like the super important point, and it led to a really bad feedback from the people around you. Maybe even your parents told you you're incapable of sports, and that caused an emotion in you, most likely not a positive one. And that emotion, the intensity of the emotion that you felt, can lead to you maybe not even trying to play basketball ever again in your life, because the humiliation that you experienced was so severe. On the other hand, if the intensity was like whatever, like you didn't experience any blowback, then nothing is holding you back from trying basketball again and then maybe achieving some better results. So that's the second one. The negative emotions like fear or anxiety can lead to limiting beliefs, like I won't try and play basketball ever again. And positive emotions like love, joy, and happiness can lead to empowering beliefs. If you score like the all-important point or goal, then it leads to beliefs like, hey, I can do this. And most of our core beliefs are shaped by early experiences in our childhood. They come from our environment and how we react to it. Now, we have a couple of sources of influence. This is not everything, but it's mostly the stuff that I could think of in the moment. But the sources are our own experiences, the way that we perceive things, and that also leads to our self-talk. Like if we experience something negative, then we're speaking with ourselves, talking to ourselves, I can't do this, like this is not for me. And then we also have the stuff that other people are telling us and the behavior that we can absorb from them. This is our family, our parents, our upbringing, and authority figures like our teachers. And then we have our communities, our social influences and role models, which are not necessarily your family or parents. It might be a older kid from the street. We have the cultural context, super important, like a person from different cultures, like two people from different cultures are gonna have severely different perception and mindset. Then we have the education, super important, and of course the media and entertainment. It's just the stuff that we consume and that has an impact on us. Why is the childhood so important in the formation of beliefs? During childhood, the brain is most often in what is called a low frequency theta brainwave state. It's associated with being highly suggestible and highly programmable, and it's the state that hypnotherapists use to perform therapy with their patients. Brainwaves, like a short crash course, are electrical signals produced by the activity of neurons communicating in the brain, and they can actually be measured using an EEG. I'm not even gonna try and read what it's actually called. But the main thing to understand is brainwaves are categorized by the frequency, which is measured in hertz. And we have different frequencies and they correspond to different states of consciousness. The most common brain wave states, and I sorted them based on their speed, like from the slowest to the fastest. First of all, we have the delta waves, which are associated with deep sleep and restorative processes. Then we have the theta, which is light sleep, deep relaxation, creativity, and intuition. It's the one that's most dominant in our childhoods. We have alpha waves, which is a relaxed yet alert state, conscious. We have beta waves, which are associated with active thinking, problem solving, and focus. we're most often like in our wakeful states, or while we're doing anything, we're most often in our beta wave state. Also, we have gamma, which is a high level of cognitive functioning, and peak performance states. You can think of an athlete or like someone performing at a high level. They can be found in a gamma wave state. Now, both adults and children have variations which range from delta to beta and even gamma in special cases. And there's Dr. Lima, who describes this progression in brainwave activity based on our development stage. When a child is born, and between birth and 2 years of age, the human brain is predominantly in the stage of delta brain, in a state of delta brain wave. And even though delta is the predominant one, they also have, babies also have like a periodic bursts of higher EEG activity. A child after 2 years of age, between the ages of 2 and 6, is most often in the theta brain wave state. And the theta state makes children highly receptive to new information and ideas. Children can download incredible volume of information that they need to thrive in their environment. Like young children observe the environment and download or absorb the wisdom that is shared by their parents and by their environment directly into the subconscious memory. So if a parent, it doesn't necessarily have to be something told to the child. Child is just absorbing everything that is happening around them. So even if a parent expresses a limiting belief about themselves, the child might absorb that and adopt the belief as their own. And this often happens without even realizing it. As a result, the parent's behaviors and beliefs become the behavior and the beliefs of children. Children are like sponges. They're soaking up ideas, values, attitudes, behaviors, and beliefs from the environment. And all of this happens without the critical filtering that develops later. Now, given the precision of this recording system, imagine the consequences of hearing your parents say to you when you were a child, "You stupid child, you do not deserve things, you will never amount to anything, you never should have been born," which is on an extreme spectrum, and you're a sickly, weak person. I mean, childhoods vary. During early development, the child's consciousness is not evolved enough to critically assess the statements, and without the critical filter, the comments by our parents are downloaded directly into the subconscious mind. And once it's downloaded, or once it's programmed into the subconscious mind, these facts that we have been told are accepted as truths about ourselves, and they shape our behavior and our potential throughout our entire life. They have a lasting impact on us. After the age of 6, we become less susceptible to outside programming, with the increasing appearance of higher frequency alpha brainwaves, which are associated with a state of calm consciousness. And by the time children reach adolescence, probably after 10, 11, 12, the subconscious minds are filled with information that ranges from how to walk, to the knowledge that they will never amount to anything, or to the knowledge, if fostered by loving parents, that they can do and achieve anything they set out to do. Where can we find all of these beliefs? All of the beliefs are stored in the subconscious mind. Everything that you ever experienced, from childhood memories to everyday experiences and corresponding beliefs, is recorded and stored in the subconscious mind. It's the memory bank of your programs, and the capacity is virtually unlimited, and it permanently stores everything that ever happened to you. The subconscious mind is working even when you're sleeping, because it's the conscious mind that sleeps and that rests, and you cannot switch off the subconscious mind. It works 24 hours a day, and it performs all manners of functions, including your controlling your body temperature, breathing, organ functionality, cell growth. You're not doing any of that consciously. It all happens automatically. And subconsciousness is the part of your mind that operates below your conscious awareness. That is also why it's often described or presented as an iceberg, because an iceberg has, like, most of it is underwater. Why do I say most of it? Because there are studies that suggest that up to 95% of our behavior is driven by subconscious processes. This is a scary fact. That means that if it's true, I mean, even if it's remotely true, that means that a very small percentage, in this case only 5%, is defined by your conscious wants, desires, like critical thinking, what you think is best. And 95% of it is defined by the way that you're programmed. Studies using fMRI have shown that the brain areas associated with decision-making and emotional processing are activated before an individual is even consciously aware of a stimulus. That means even before you understand or see something, perceive something, your subconscious mind has already done it, and the way you react is then defined by it. The subconscious mind observes the surroundings, the body's internal awareness reads the environment, and immediately engages previously acquired behaviors. And all of this happens without the help or even awareness of the conscious mind. When we have a stimulus from the external reality, it automatically engages the behavioral response that was learned when the signal was first experienced and recorded. That means that the way that you react to a certain type of situation is heavily influenced by memories that you don't even know that you have. So the memories of similar situations from the past play a vital role in how you react to it in the present. This is referred to as our programming. Consciousness is the 5% that we're talking about. It's the part of your mind that is aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. It's what you actively think about and focus in the present moment. It's also where reasoning and critical thinking take place. Critical thinking acts as a filter because it determines how much impact new information can have on existing beliefs in the subconscious mind. Therefore, we can see the conscious mind as the gatekeeper to the subconscious mind. That means when you're talking with someone, or in this case, the information that you're absorbing from this course, it doesn't directly rewrite your programming. All of the information is going through a bullshit filter and a critical thinking. And whether it will do anything to shift your beliefs and your mindset is up to your level of resonance with the presented information. And the more that you resonate with something, the more you accept it as true. The more potential it has to overwrite the stuff that you already have. This is a short comparison. There are many studies that compare the subconscious mind to the conscious mind. Some studies suggest that the subconscious mind is 27,500 times more powerful than the conscious mind. And we have a certain study with like bits of information. It's not super important to understand. In short, the senses that we have, like eyes, skin, ears, smell, and taste, have a certain volume of data that we're downloading at any given time. When researchers measured information processing capabilities during intelligent or conscious activities, such as reading or piano playing, they come up with a maximum capacity of fewer than 50 bits per second, which is a huge difference to the overall 11 million bits per second that we absorb through our senses and our subconscious mind. The two minds actually cooperate. They make a dynamic duo, and they cooperate by acquiring complex behaviors that can later on be unconsciously managed or managed by the subconsciousness. As an example, if you already have your driver's license, you can remember the first day of driving school, and the stuff that you had to deal with consciously was staggering, and it took a long time before all of these behaviors were programmed into your subconscious mind. Now you don't have to use so much conscious effort into driving. Also, the conscious mind can think forward and backward in time, while the subconscious mind is always operating in the present moment. The conscious mind can create future plans, it can review past life experiences, while the subconscious mind is always on duty and manages the behaviors required at the moment. The subconscious programming takes over the moment your conscious mind is not paying attention, and you can have great ideas and plans for the future. You can think about love, happiness, prosperity. While you're doing all of that, the subconsciousness is actively managing everything just the way that it was programmed. And the thing is, our programming or our learned behaviors and beliefs that we acquired from the environment or our parents may not support the goals that we have currently or the goals that we think about consciously. Now, the conscious mind can observe behaviors as they're being carried out. As pre-programmed behavior is unfolding, the observing conscious mind can step in, stop the behavior, and create a new response. The conscious mind offers us free will, which means that we're not just victims of our programming, we can actively do something about it. So they form a feedback loop, the conscious and the subconscious mind. And as an example, if your subconscious mind holds a limiting belief, it leads to conscious thoughts, feelings, and actions that reinforce that belief. However, if you consciously challenge a limiting belief, you can start reshaping your subconscious programming. How does this work? It's incredibly difficult to stop impulsive subconscious thoughts from occurring. They come from a part of the brain that reacts faster than the conscious thought. However, you can't choose how you react to the stuff that's coming from below the surface. As a result, beliefs are a choice. The moment that a certain automatic behavior comes up from the subconscious mind, as soon as you're conscious of it, it's no longer a compulsion, it's a choice. The awareness of the unconscious behavior is the end of it. It's no longer unconscious because you have become conscious of the behavior. And from that moment on, if you proceed with the behavior, you're basically choosing that behavior because it's aligned with what you believe in. You believe that it's in some way beneficial to you. At some point in life, you made a decision that the behavior in question is serving you. You think it's beneficial. And once it comes to the conscious awareness, you have the opportunity to explore what the belief must be and why you believe that it benefits you. Then you can choose an alternative if that's what you prefer. A behavior that is aligned with what you want to do and who you want to be. Consciously, you may think in a certain way, but your actions show otherwise. Find out why you're choosing to hold on to behavior that you don't prefer. For example, when you have a behavior that you don't think is right, you don't think it's good for you, when you're examining it, it might be a good idea to ask yourself, question number 1, what would I need to believe about myself that makes this behavior happen? There's something that you believe in that results in the thoughts, feelings, and actions that come from that belief. Question number 2, how does it benefit me to hold on to this behavior that I don't prefer? And question number 3, what's the worst that could happen if I let go of it? By asking these 3 questions, I think a lot of the stuff can be brought up from the subconscious mind into the conscious mind, and that has certain benefits. But first, let's take a look at an example. Cigarettes. I may consciously think that they're bad for me. It's a behavior that I don't prefer. Yet I still do it from time to time. I'm hanging on to it. Why? On some level, I believe that smoking is beneficial to me. They calm me down, they offer me a distraction, they're great for socializing with the cool kids, or I will gain weight if I quit. Now, these are just some surface level beliefs that I might have. I started smoking when I was 17 in high school, so it was great for socializing with the cool kids in the breaks. It was a great distraction when I was working intensely on like projects or something. They did calm me down to a certain degree, but when I reflect, I don't think it's actually calming down. It's something else. Or I will gain weight if I quit. Maybe I tried and I gained some weight, and that's like the belief that resulted from it. But here's the cool part. When we identify hidden beliefs by asking these questions, they can sometimes appear as deeply illogical, flawed, and nonsensical because they're not aligned with what you hold true about yourself on a deeper level. Simply put, they won't make any sense. And as soon as you realize that the beliefs that you have don't make any sense and that they're deeply illogical, the belief is released. Like just by identifying the beliefs that you have and seeing it as ridiculous, that can very often release the limiting beliefs that we have been holding on to for a long time. In other words, you don't see it as true anymore and you're not resonating with it. Moments of hardship are the best time to identify limiting beliefs. They give you the best material. Why? Because when you come to a point of a difficulty or a hardship, it's 99.999% connected with certain beliefs that you have, and that's the time to dig deep and to scratch under the surface and see what's not aligned with who you truly are or what you want to do. Now, this exercise that we went through is helpful, and many limiting beliefs can be pruned in this way. However, to be able to successfully implement it takes a lot of honesty, reflection, and introspection. And it also works with the portion of beliefs that are brought to your awareness. That means at times it can be very difficult to find the exact belief that is causing the behavior. For example, the smoking cigarettes one, I'm certainly not proceeding with the smoking because of my belief that I will gain weight if I quit smoking. There's something deeper under the surface that is causing me to proceed with such a behavior. They offer me a great distraction, they calm me down. These are all good and fine, but essentially it's not the core belief upon which these other more superficial beliefs are built upon. So we need to, when we're reflecting, if we just scratch the surface, then we won't be able to eliminate the behavior, because the core belief that activates the behavior is still hidden. And it's like a house of cards. By identifying and releasing the core belief, all others that are connected to it crumble as well. But if you don't find the core belief, you're just scratching the surface and the underlying cause is still present. To take it back to the cigarette stuff, I mean, cigarettes, like any addiction, are somewhat complicated topic. We went through some like superficial examples, but imagine this one. Belief, I am not safe. I am not safe. It's a deep subconscious belief, and you might use cigarettes as a way to distract yourself from feeling not safe on a very deep level. Other than that, we're often trying to tackle our programming with our willpower, and this can lead to mixed results. It can work, like cigarettes, like just saying I'm not going to smoke anymore, and then successfully eliminating the cigarettes. Like a lot of people do it this way. Or if you ever tried losing a lot of weight, I'm sure that you can resonate with the willpower aspect. There is a problem, however. There's a commonly cited statistic that suggests that 80 to 95% of people that start dieting regain the weight that they lost. And in some cases, they even gain back more weight than when they started. And this just goes to show how impactful our subconscious programming is it, because most often after a certain amount of time, people just revert back to the baseline subconscious programming. And the mind can be torn between the conscious and the subconscious mind, and I have an extreme and a very literal example of this. But tensions between the conscious willpower and subconscious programs can result in serious neurological disorders. And please, this is just an extreme example. There's the Australian pianist David Helfgott, and he played like a very difficult piano concert. And there's even a movie about him. And it shows the conflict between his conscious mind wanting success and his subconscious mind concerned that being visible and being internationally recognized was life-threatening. As he advances through the concert, he consciously tries to fight and to stay in control, while the subconscious mind, fearful of winning, tries to take control of his body. Now, Helfgott tries to consciously force himself to maintain control until he plays the last note. Then he passes out, overcome by the energy it took to battle his subconscious programming. And for that victory over the subconscious mind, he pays a high price. When he comes to it, he's insane. And he actually spent years in institutions after this incident. I think after years in institutions, he recovered. I'm not sure what happened to his piano playing career, but it's a very interesting story. So the biggest obstacle to realizing the life of our dreams is programmed in the subconscious mind. And luckily and thankfully, there are tools that will help you to clear out limiting beliefs at a much more efficient rate than the one we just discussed, even though the one we just discussed is a great one, especially to get started with the whole topic. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at some examples and try to understand how powerful our beliefs actually are.